भैरवकालिके नमोस्तुते। ओं नमो भैरवाय। जय मां, जय मां, जय मां। जय श्री भामा खेपा, जय श्री श्यामा खेपा, जय खेपा परंपरा, जय माध्या, जय माध्या, जय माध्या, जय मां। So good morning, and we're back on yet another video. So today's subject is about Sonagachi and its relevance in the Durga Puja tradition that I think it's starting off with September 21st, right? And there is a specific event that is very important, a marker of sorts that talks about how you would advance in your sadhana path and why it is very important to understand this specific practice that is followed in the Durga Puja tradition. So there is something called taking of the Punya Mati or the blessed soil from the courtyards of the sex workers of Sonagachi. The Sonagachi, for those who don't know, you could Google it later. It is the Asia's largest red light district. So that is there in, I believe it's in North Kolkata, and you could correct me if in the comments if that is the exact location of it. So what does it mean? What is the significance of this event where they collect or beg for? Please understand, they beg for. It is like a bhiksha that they take, and they take the soil from the hands of these workers from the red light district right outside their boundary, the gharka boundary, right? Their doorway is here, and right outside that mud is taken from there and given as offering to the sculptures. And what is the significance of it? Of course, the cultural significance is simple, that a man who's standing there just about to enter into the four walls of this worker is leaving all his virtues, kripa and everything. So that becomes the most beautifully blessed soil, right? But there is deeper understanding. As a Kali Sadhaka, we do not get to be superficial. We have to go into the depth. So what is the most important understanding from somebody who would speak about the Punya Mati is basically that until you take that specific soil and then begin the making of the Durga idols, it is considered as incomplete. That level of our forefathers have given that much of importance to this soil. And what is a deeper understanding of it? What is the significance of Mahishasura? Now here we directly go to the Asura who gets killed by Ma Durga, Mahishasura, and the significance of it. Mahishasura had a boon that no matter what you do, you cannot kill him. Number one. Number two, you cannot even recognize him because he keeps on shifting the shape. So the lust within you, if the context here is lust, because what does a man go to a red light district for? It is for satisfaction of the physical lust, right? He goes there and loses all his kripa right at the doorway, and then he steps into, right? And what is the quality of Mahishasura? You cannot recognize this. He is indescribable, unrecognizable. So no matter what you do, you cannot quantify and understand that this is the problem. He's always the master of disguise. The nature of this Asura, the lust, in this topic we are addressing this and trying to understand the depth of lust. The nature of this Asura is that he cannot be understood, nor can he be pinpointed right. He is the master of disguise. And the most important event that led to his ultimate demise is that he was able to take over the entire Deva Loka and kick the Devas out of their own palaces and their own kshetras of ruling, right? So it simply means that an uncontrolled lusty sadhaka who's unable to get over that moment of lust that is taking him over will never be able to go to the higher states of realization, and this lust will now overcome and take over the Deva Tatwa within him, thereby keeping him as an Asura. So it is Devi who manifests and destroys him. And what does she do? How is the iconography of Devi represented in that specific moment? She has that Trishula holding him down, and forever and ever, for centuries and centuries and decades and yuga, after yugas of yuga passes, she still holds him there, and she has got him now, right? This, if you connect with the Punya Mati of Sonagachi that is taken, and then Durga Ma's idols are made out of it, it means very simply and beautifully that the moment the man is able to quantify and understand that it is unless you make earth, or you make the mud of that physical lust within you, till you do not make that physical lust but mud or soil, Devi Tattva cannot rise within you. Till you do not surrender that, and from that depth of that lust is that Devi Tatwa rises within you. So how do you do it? So what happens? So let us now come to the man who would generally visit a place like Sonagachi and understand in depth what this is. So how would a very honorable man in the society, he is a master of disguise, so he's highly respected in the society and all that, but when he's going to this district, how would he go? He would cover his head, so he's unrecognizable, right? Like the Mahishasura. He covers his head, covers his face. He's not going to go in public. He will be like quite disguised. But the moment he lands up at the doorway of the worker there, he shows his real face and he steps into in absolute comfort. So symbolically, that moment, all the kripa, all of that is left there. That is why they take that mud and build the Devi Tatwa over there, because it is that virtuous. Everything is left at that moment. Also meaning that till lust is not absolutely overcome, Devi cannot be attained. That is the absolute meaning here. But however, there is hope. There is hope. Because who ultimately destroys Mahishasura and recognizes and sees the rawness, because the moment he crosses into that room, crosses into the room of the worker, there he is absolutely seen in the Digambara, and he is recognized there by the consciousness that is inside in the form of that worker, the divine consciousness that is Devi. So that mud is begged for. At that moment, she is given, that worker is given the honor, that divine consciousness has manifested, Devi Tatwa has manifested into that worker there, and she has absolutely poked and held Mahishasura there. At that moment, Mahishasura's head is no longer covered. In the society, when he was coming through the busy streets, he was covering his head so that nobody recognizes he's going into that town, into that city, or into that place of that worker. But the moment he crosses and enters into it, he is comfortable because he's no longer hiding. Devi has caught him and with the trident she's poked and he's stuck. For yugas and yugas, centuries and centuries, he's stuck, he cannot move. So it is Devi manifesting in the divine consciousness and destroying the lust within that man, so that the Deva Tatwa, the Deva Kripa, all the sadhana, everything that is getting lost because Mahishasura is ruling the kingdom of Indra. He takes over the kingdom of Indra because he is the ruler and he is a master of disguise. Nobody outside can recognize that he is unable to conquer his lust. But for the man, the moment he crosses over that threshold, he is recognized, and Devi holds him. Divine consciousness in that worker knows that it is him, and she holds him with the Trishula. So this is the indirect meaning of this beautiful cultural reference where people, the sculptures take the mud of Sonagachi and then build Ma Durga's idols out of it. Very beautiful. All right, what is happening right now, what is not happening, this is none of our concern, but we need to understand the depth of it. Till Mahishasura is not conquered, till he is not arrested and held with the trident, you will not go higher into Devi Sadhana. Because the moment you see a woman, it is the lust that is speaking out first. The Mahishasura, which generally, even in large groups and so-called spiritual centers, if you're sitting with all the dressings and everything, but you still have not conquered, Mahishasura is still fooling you and those around you, saying that I am a realized sadhaka, but he has not even conquered lust. So kahan se aayega? From where will you have the higher states of realization until you conquer it? And who will come to conquer it? Who is sitting on the other side? Why is it considered the Punya Mati? And who has to give it? It is given from the hands of that worker to the sculpture. The one who is going to sculpt the Murti of Devi. It is given by her hand, which means she is the divine consciousness. The divine consciousness has taken the shape of that worker. And the divine consciousness is standing there as a worker. And she is the manifestation of Devi at that moment, and only she is able to see Mahishasura because he is the master of disguise. Indra Deva doesn't know where is Mahishasura. He has taken over and doesn't know how to get him because he keeps on shifting his shape. The man comes with the face covered, and only at the threshold of her courtyard of this worker he will show his real face. So Mahishasura is only seen inside the four walls of this worker. And the divine consciousness, every time he feels at last, she's killing it. Inside the four walls of the worker, she's killing it by manifesting as that worker. The divine consciousness takes multiple forms and gives you higher and higher states of realization, but until you do not overcome, if you have the lust 1,000 times, she'll kill you 1,000 times. That is what is happening there. That is why this specific town exists there. In a space, in a kshetra that is known as Kali Kshetra, it exists there. Every time this man walks in, she is seeing him. Only she gets to see him. The one who's inside the four walls only is able to see him. Nobody else can see him because he's a master of pretending. Family members, friends, office colleagues, nobody can see him. Only the one who is sitting inside, the manifested divine consciousness sitting inside, sees him and cut. Pokes him and holds him there for eternity and eternity and eternity. And what happens? The moment Mahishasura has been caught and is dying, he also gets to see Devi because the lust that he is now looking beyond the flesh is able to see Devi. And he is also attaining higher states of realization. So this beautiful cultural reference gives us the secret that until you do not overcome lust that you see towards the divine feminine or the feminine, higher states of Devi Sadhana does not open up to you. And who will come to remove that lust so that you rise higher? It is Devi manifesting in multiple consciousness. All of us are masters of pretending to be something else in our own conscious. We are also, the Mahishasura within is such a master, it also fools us itself. We ourselves are fooled into thinking that, if I don't tell others, it is fine. If nobody knows that I have these intense feelings, it is fine. But to you, Devi manifests within you and tells you that no, you are still not there. And until you are not there, you are leaving all the virtues at the doorstep of the worker. You are not able to carry it inside. When you leave it, it is still lying at the doorstep because you have still not recovered from it. You have still not attained oneness with your own Mahishasura and killed it. So most of the men who text me or send me emails, young men, this is one of the issues that you always face, lust. How do you overcome it? It is simple. If that mud before the man enters in the threshold of that worker is considered Punya Mati, and with that only the Devi sculptures are made, the secret is there only. That it is the divine consciousness that is manifesting inside and killing your Mahishasura. And it is from her hand only that the mud can be taken. Because she is the one who killed Mahishasura. From her hand the mud shall be taken. It is not that the sculpture can simply walk into the Sonagachi, simply sees the house of a worker and he will simply take the mud and run away. No, she has to offer it to you. So the one who kills the Mahishasura within the four walls is at that moment the divine manifestation of the divine consciousness of the divine mother. That is Kali. Right? So what do? When you're surrounded by overload of lust, you're seeing in the moment you pick up your phone, you have all of these reels and all the movies and all the experiences that today all the culture has changed to such an extent that you are exposed to satisfaction of these lusty thoughts are all the way around you. Now, if you continuously indulge, then you will not be able to attain the higher states of Deva Tatwa. However, if you pretend that you do not have this, then it is a even bigger danger that Mahishasura has convinced you. Mahishasura has convinced you itself that within you are pious only. No, I am pretending. No, I will not look at that side. Just because I don't look that side, I am pious. No. Just because you do not enter into those districts, you are still pretending to yourself. If you cover your face and enter into that district, red light district, you are convincing others that you are still pious. So two things. Either you are convincing yourself that you are pious, whereby you pretend that you don't have any such feelings and thoughts. Other, you're pretending in front of others where the man is covering his face and going into Sonagachi. But the second he is at the footstep of the worker, he has no control. All the kripa is lost in that Punya Mati, and that place holds all your kripa. So how do you still get it back? By realizing, the answer lies here, by realizing and understanding that the one to whom you are surrendering these thoughts, that moment you have stepped into, be it the source could be anything. You could have seen something on the road that is generating these thoughts within you. You could have seen somebody on the phone. It could be a reel, it could be a movie, anything. The moment in front of you, you see that moment and those thoughts are rising. For a second, invoke Ma, Jai Ma. I realize what is happening. I recognize the Mahishasura within me, and whatever is happening right now beyond this is also surrendered to you. Do it once, do it twice, invoke the Guru. Continue, don't pretend and try to deny yourself that. Till you deny, it will continue happening because Mahishasura has to be attained and killed and held there. has to be held with the Trishula she holds. So you have to invoke Devi. Then when you open your eyes, you realize that it is the divine consciousness that has manifested there. Finish off that by attaining an east. The times and over times that it happens, because Mahishasura is killed every Durga Puja. The mud is taken and the clay is made again and he is held there, right? So every time it happens to you, invoke the Guru, you will find that manifested moment is you realizing and going higher and higher. That photographs and all that nonsense that you see begins to crumble, and you realize that it is the consciousness manifesting there, so that you get exposed in front of you. The man might hide from the thoughts and say that I don't have any such thoughts, I will not go into that district at all. The man might cover his face and still go into the district, whereby convincing others that he is very clean and it is not him that is there. But the moment he stands at that door, all the kripa falls and he steps inside. The woman inside sees you. Divine consciousness manifested there sees you. The mother sees you. And it is only from her hands that mud can be touched and given to the sculptures from which the idols are made. So what is the meaning here? Stop pretending to yourself that there are no such feelings. You have to work towards it and correct it and go higher. Only then you can go higher. Number 2, by pretending in front of others also you are not pious, because you are still not gotten over these desires by attaining of it. Number 2 and final, third and final, the man goes inside, he gets the Mahishasura killed and sees Devi. So every moment these thoughts come up, work towards killing it and seeing Devi there. The divine consciousness has manifested there. It is Devi standing there. Fold your hands and say, this moment is surrendered to you, Ma. I realize that the Mahishasura has been killed this moment. If it happens 1,000 times, 100 times, 10 more times, let it happen. But that moment, each moment, you should allow the Mahishasura to be killed within you by invoking Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, invoke her, call upon her. Every second of those feelings, be it today it's in phone, you see somebody on the road and you're still getting all these thoughts, surrender it to the mother immediately. You cannot pretend in front of you, or you cannot convince the society Mahishasura is still alive. The moment the threshold is crossed, Punya is dropped. But Mahishasura is still attaining the higher states because Devi holds him. And once Devi saw Trishula is the one held you, recognize that the one inside who is now going to get you with the Trishula is Devi, you are realized. So how do you surrender that lust, the moment of lust to Devi? By attaining the reality that yes, it is the Devi that has come here. The space that I am standing right now, where I am going to lose all the kripa because my Mahishasura has to be killed by Devi, who has taken this consciousness. The consciousness has manifested in one particular form in front of me on the phone or on the road or in my own imagination. It is Devi. Devi has manifested herself and she is coming. Now I will kill you. And yes, you surrender that entire moment to her. That is the only way you can go higher. Not by pretending in front of others, by saying that no, I will never go there, but thought is there. So you are pretending. Identity crisis. That will be a huge problem because in the Shamshana, when the body is finally burnt, everything is right. You are lying there absolutely raw, nothing hidden. So you pretending to yourself and saying, I don't have that thoughts, and just every time trying to change your thought will not work. Number 2, convincing the society by covering your face and going all the way till that the red light district you have reached there, but you're going to cross into the house. That moment all the kripa is gone, because Mahishasura he had the boon that he cannot be recognized, and he also did take over the Devaloka. So he is now taking over your kripa, and it is all in pause button now till he is not killed. Now finally he has entered into, but now nobody can save you because the divine consciousness has manifested and is sitting inside waiting for you. And the trident will hold you 1 time, 2 times, 10 times, 100 times it will kill you. But every moment you are getting killed by it, you realize and say that I can see Devi. Devi has only manifested in this form, and now Devi is killing me and giving me the highest states of realization. This thought alone you get every time, especially for the young men who have not gotten over this thought alone can give you higher states of realization. You will find detachment happening, and you will find that every time you see the manifestation of Devi as a woman, it is not through lust that you operate, and you realize that this specific Punya Mati, the Punya Mati theory will make you realize that as you go higher from the sthula, merely seeing the woman before you as mere sthula, Sthula means the body alone, it is that you are perceiving, you will begin to rise higher. But for that, what do? You have to cross the threshold and get killed by her, and you have to kill the Mahishasura within you. So henceforth, from this, let this Durga Puja be the opportunity for you to kill the Mahishasura within, and it could be for any facet, anything that is out of control. However, for lust, majorly since it is that mud is taken from the courtyard of that worker, it makes more sense. Punya Mati is taken from the courtyard of the Sonagachi's worker, and she has to give it from her hand because she is the one who has slain the Mahishasura. So every time you see a moment where the lust is just unbelievable taking you over, slay it, and slay it right. That moment invoke Devi and realize that she has come in that form to slay it now. Let it get slayed, and after that go higher and higher and higher. Don't pretend that you're over it. You have to be over it by attaining and realizing that you have been killed. That moment Mahishasura has been killed within you by Devi, who has manifested. The Mahamaya has manifested into a specific form. It could be in the phone anywhere, but she has come to kill you. Jai Ma bolke, let her take it out. Get killed. So that is the only way we understand what is this concept of Punya Mati, and why does the mud from there has to be taken from the hands of the worker, offered by her, because she is the one who now has a right to that mud. She has a right to that mud because it is she that killed the Mahishasura within, who the Mahishasura who fooled himself, or the Mahishasura that fools the society and walks into that room by covering his head, removes the head and exposes himself the moment he is inside. And it is she who kills him and releases that Pashu. The Pashu walks in, gets released, the Pashu walks out. But the Deva Kripa has to be given back only by Devi to you. So Indra Deva, whose entire kingdom was taken over by Mahishasura, Mahishasura is killed, and the kingdom is given back to Indra Deva by Devi. So you need to understand the concept of lust and how you have to overcome it in order to go to higher states of Devi Sadhana. Till you look at women with merely lust alone, it will not happen. So what do you have to do? Every time it happens, Jai Ma, surrender it to her, surrender it to her, surrender it to her. Slowly you will find that it keeps on getting detached and she keeps on killing the Mahishasura within. That is all it is. So henceforth, anytime you get those urges, it is going to keep coming, because Mahishasura is the master of disguise. Nobody can recognize him. He can fool you within you itself. So it happens, Jai Ma, surrender it to Ma, surrender it to the Guru, and proceed. Walk inside, get killed, walk out. Ma will return the Kripa to you. This is what the beautiful logic of Punya Mati is, and I think it should be understood at a depth, and how that mud creates the most beautiful murtis which is worshipped in all the pandals in the society. Now from there, it goes all the way to the society and it is worshipped absolutely, and everybody looks at that sculpture as Ma, right? So first of all, understand that every facet within you, every thought, every feeling is a consciousness that is manifesting, and for you to go higher by realization of it. You ignoring and calling it, no, I don't have it, is only going to delay it. Allow her to kill the Mahishasura within you and you go higher very fast. That is all it is. Bhairava Kalike Namostute. Om Namo Bhairavaya Namo Namah. Om Namo Bhairavaya Namo. Understand that every woman, the second you see and get that thought, realize that Devi has manifested in that form. That moment you should say Jai Ma. After that, so she will ensure that she destroys the Mahishasura within. Train this. Devi Sadhaka should train this. Every time the thought arises, looking at something, Jai Ma. And then she will kill Mahishasura and give the Kripa back to you.